Peace, peace, peace. What's good? Grand rising to everybody. Grand rising. I came on a couple of minutes earlier. I don't know if my moderator's here yet, but I just wanted to come on. Yes, definitely, moderator. Riri, love you so much. Glad that you come in, able to be here and moderate for me. Well, I came on a little bit minutes early because it's inside of me is just bubbling. I can't wait to give this information about the kids that created hip hop. So, first of all, I don't even know if anyone is in here right now. That doesn't matter to me right now because no matter what, this message is going to go out. No matter I've held it back a long time ago, but for those that know, my uncle passed away this Monday, and he was a great part of the creation of hip hop because he was the only one that actually recorded Mario. He has video. I have now a video of Mario and cassette of Mario, which is rare. No one has that. No one knows it, and it's time stamped. Uh, it's definitely time stamped, so you can see that it's 1970, and I just God bless, God rest in peace to my uncle Junior. With that being said, a lot of things that I've seen a couple of videos because if you all know, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because, like my information that I give, it seems like people act like they're not looking at my videos and stuff, but then yet and still they'll go on their channels or whatever and put out the information that they were never thinking about until they saw me. But that's nor here or there. The only problem I have is uh, I will not let the wrong information get out about the creation of hip hop. I just won't do it because out of the kids, the seven kids, which was the Super Seven at the time, that created hip hop will always be the creators. Like you cannot take that away. Like yeah, they took away a lot of the stuff and they said this one did this and that one did this. But that's okay. But you cannot take the kids that actually created this $1 trillion business. You can't do it. And I always say, listen, if you can date before 70 or even 70, 71, if you can show me that, you can show me what happened, well, then I will definitely, understand it and see it. But no one will be able to actually do that and say that this is how it happened. This is what it was. This No one has been able to say that at all. That's one of the things that I needed to say before I continue and to go on. The second thing, and I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I'm DJ Faze, and it really that just flies right over me. I don't care who's mad, who whatever, doesn't matter. So someone asked me, did they think that FBA and Tariq Nasheed was was doing the right thing as far as hip hop is concerned. And what I am gonna say is that if that's what you want to believe, or if that's what you're looking to do, or whatever, that's on you. I'm not going to condemn anybody. I'm not going to say what is, what I feel. I'm not going to say none of that. But what I will say is this: exploitation has been a thing from a long time ago. Entertainment world knows about exploitation. You had the so-called black films, the black exploitation films, and all the other things, the sounds and the music and everything. But the one thing I can say is don't exploit. You can create, you can help, you can, push along. But as far as microphone check is concerned, I think it was a big part of exploitation, because those people that were in the film, from my knowledge, the people that were in the film were not paid for their stories. Those people, not me. I'm not talking about me, okay? Because y'all know where I'm from. Y'all know I'm Bronx still, and y'all know what's going to get down, right? So those people were not paid to make the movie. So if it wasn't for them, the people that were inside of the movie that was talking and interviewed, if it wasn't for them, there would be no movie. So if there was no movie, no one would have got paid. But that's not the case. Someone got paid a lot of money to make this movie, for the people that were in it didn't get that money or part of it. So what does that tell you? Doesn't that sound uh, a little bit tainted? Don't you see where that's a part of the exploitation? If someone uses you, uses your images, uses your mind, your creative thinking, your this is a part of you, and they get paid off of it, but you don't. It's a big. You think about it. And then people say, oh, well, if I was in the movie, that went to different areas and other people, you should have been able to do that by yourself. Your background, your works, your reputation should have did that anyway. And if you were a pioneer or one of the creators, then that's evident enough. So all of those tell me, oh, don't say nothing. I didn't say nothing for a long time. I didn't say nothing. I said, go ahead, do. I got what I needed. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. But in reality, when you think about it, that's kind of foul. And if I stand there and let people, for something that I was a part of the creation of, just get used like that, then I'm at fault as well. So I don't want to be at fault with that. So another thing, and this is very, very important, and I hope after this video, I hope people can really understand why I say what I say. I hope people can really understand why I say what I say. Don't just hear me saying something and don't understand why I'm saying it. I hope that this video gets it across to people. So a lot of the topics are how Spanish people and Jamaican people, even pink people, uh, kind of stole and muscled their way into hip hop. You know, they changing dates. They're easing themselves into hip hop. And I just would like to say this: it's because we allow it, and that's it. So if you're on one hand saying, "Oh," complaining about what they've done, but you're allowing it and you're letting it happen and using some of the same the vocabulary and things that is when it's being taken, then you're contradiction yourself. Is contradicting yourself. FBA, foundational black, right? That's foundational black, right? Okay. Um, excuse me, foundational black Americans. Okay. Wow. That was crazy. I never saw anything like that before my whole entire doing podcast or broadcast. So Let me say it really quick. Let me go real quick with this. Okay, so FBA. All right, let's think about it. Let's look at the word black. Okay, so now remember, if we were actually black, right? If we were the color black, like this is black, right? Then it would be different. If we were uh like say if we use that as a part of just wording, right? That's a different thing. But notice that black, the color black has a definition. Okay, that's number one. Number two is it's brown and black, right? That's what they usually say. Brown and black communities, brown and black. So now, how many of us, the foundational people, right, can say that they are this color? How many people can say they're this color? I'm not talking about all the things to relate to this color, but how many people can say that they're this color, right? But how many people can say they're brown from the foundational people? A lot more of us can say that we're brown and can look at our families and look at our friends and our cousins and everything and say that we are actually brown. We can say that. But who has that category? Spanish and every other place on every other place but us are considered brown. There's no other way to slice it. So if anything was stolen, our color was stolen. But yet and still, we're running around talking about, oh, we're black, and it just means this, it means that we're black, and they called us this and that. But the real thing that was stolen was our skin color. How many of them have this color than having the pink color? More of them have the pink color than to have brown. But yet and still, they're called brown and we're called black. And we're always talking about, oh, that we're black and we're this. Really? If you do find a dark person, that's rare. That's rare. But you see this all day. And so we would be called brown. But no. You got all of these high class people and all of that saying black. Meanwhile, what do you think they're saying? Do you really think they're like, like they'll trade that color and say, oh no, we're black and you guys are brown, or even for the pink people say, oh no, we're gonna change it. You guys be pink and we'll be black. You think that will ever happen? No, because it makes more sense to know that this is brown. It makes more sense to know this. If you look, people, look at your skin. Put your skin up to black. Put it up to black. And so if you lie and say you're this color, then that's on you. Because that's what it means. That's what it means to be black, means that that's the color that was chosen to identify you. the same color of death, the same color as evil, satanic, gloomy. That's the same color that you chose to identify yourself. And then you look at people like, oh yeah, well listen, it's just that's the way what it's called, and most people identify as black, and but yet and still, obviously there's a difference. Obviously there's a difference between this and this. And so what we should be worrying about is who stole our original color. Who stole it? So from this day, I will not make that mistake and say FBA will not do it. I will not. Y'all can get mad all you want to. Y'all can say this, y'all can say that, y'all can say anything you want. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be, and I'm not going to call nobody stupid, but I'm a little bit more intelligent to let someone steal my color and be okay with it and say, yes, I'm the color that you gave me, that they gave me, not the color that I choose for myself or my parents or their parents choose for me. Someone else chooses and says, no, you're black. So y'all can get down with that. I just ain't getting down with that. Okay, now let's go into the topic. I saw a video. I like the person that does the video. I love the person. I've been on the channel before, and but there was a lot of inconsistencies that I saw in the video, and I didn't say anything. I didn't comment or do any of that because, like I said, one of the things that he said that I did inspired this was saying that even some of the pioneers that lived in the Bronx have it wrong. That I can agree with. But what do you call a pioneer? Who are those pioneers that you're talking about? If you talk about anything that's in the late 70s, to me that's not a pioneer. Especially when it was said KRS and Crazy Legs. What kind of pioneers are that? So that threw me off. Another mention was Fab Five Freddy and introducing graffiti to hip hop. I'll straight out tell you that's false. That's totally false. But by saying that, though, he did say something that I have said a long time ago. The way graffiti was introduced to hip hop was number one, the flyer was written, the first flyers were written in graffiti. And number two, people were getting their clothing spray painted in graffiti. So that's the introduction to from graffiti to hip hop. That's it. No other way. There's no other way. Y'all can lie and say all of this and all of that. There's no other way that it did that. Okay? So that's number one. The Spades were marking up their clothing in the 60s when it was created. That was the first way that it was put on a jacket or a vest. was spray paint and magic marker. That's it. No saying that, oh, it came. No, no, no. The black before the black spades got a patch from Noble Avenue, the spot on Noble Avenue. Before that, it was in marker, magic marker, black spades, name, knife with a blood coming out of it. And that's the 60s. So if you want to talk about graffiti being part of it, it was because the black spades who protected the creators of hip hop did. So another thing was said that really just freaked me out. He said that it was impossible for a kid that was 9 years old to be a part of the creation of hip hop. Out of the seven, the oldest was 12, the oldest. The youngest one being 7. So 7 to 12 created what you know as hip hop. That's it, point blank, period. You want me to show you how? I'll show you how. Number one thing is this, that the teenagers, the teenagers at the time of 1970 and 71, the teenagers wanted to be grown. That's it. They wanted to be grown. They didn't want to do the stuff that the preteens and the younger kids did. They didn't want to be known for that. They wanted to be known for doing stuff that the grown-ups did, that the grown-up people did, to make it make sense. So if it was a teenager, are they going to be playing and doing the stuff that a young kid is doing? No, they're not. And that's just basically it. So now, this is the catch. So when we are doing it, right? Because now this is the first thing that was always said, it was said to me especially, was why am I taking that little piece of the record and playing it over and over and over again? That's stupid. We can't even dance with that. You're messing up the record. Why are you doing that? I'm minding my own business. I play the drums. That's what I want to hear. That's what my boys want to hear. That's what my friends want to hear. They want to do that so they could go to the floor and they could do their different moves. And the moves that we were doing were karate moves. That's it. It was karate moves. We were doing the sweeps and everything. We wasn't spinning on the heads. There's no such thing as a defense of spinning on your head. What defense is that? In any martial arts, any fighting style at all, what is the defense of spinning on your head? If anybody is there, all they got to do is kick you in your face. You can't block it because how you going to block it if you're spinning on your head? Make that make sense to me. So us kids, the ones that say they can't do nothing, can't whatever, we're listening to the beats, to the breaks. We're listening to that. When I first came out years ago, over 10, 15 years ago, I said that we were emulating Pygmy Markham because that's what we were doing. So if you can't start the foundation with the records, the breaks, the dancing, and the MC, if you can't start your thought or your creation, your story of how it was created with those three things, then you're not saying nothing to me. You're not saying nothing to me. And all those pioneers or all of these people that did their homework and did this, no. If you studied it, then you'll know that those are the three things that did it. Now, this is the part. This is the part. We took Pygmy Markham was saying jokes over music. At the time, I couldn't take my drum set all over. I couldn't carry my drum set all over. So I had to use the records. I had to use the records that had a drum beat in it. And we took the microphone and started snapping on it. And someone was dancing to it. Part of the seven. See, because that's what the crew started. And I can say crew because that's what we were. We were a little crew back then because we stuck together. No one could break us up. Nobody could. We would fight between us, but be best friends the next day. We could have a fist throw down fight and believe it, the next day we knocking on the door saying, yo, you coming outside? Da, da, da. What's up? Where you at? And that's real. Now, the older teenagers would carry it on. They'll carry that on forever. They'll carry that on. Yo, you had a fight with them. They'll hold a grudge forever. Us kids, nah. You my boy. You my friend. And we friends to the end. And that's it. No grudges, no nothing. We can even bust a lip, black eye, or whatever. Don't matter. We friends. It's called a discretion. You know, we didn't agree with each other for that moment, and that was it. So we were kids. Now teenagers, they would, hey, you know, oh, they gonna, especially if they got beat up, then they want to kill you. They want to get you. They want to get you back. Nah. So it was kids that are taking this music and we didn't care who didn't like it because that was it. That was the whole thing. People were saying, the older kids, the adults, were saying that's stupid. That's stupid. That is the dumbest thing they ever heard. And so now, just like everything is stupid until somebody else likes it and then they thought about it. So name one pioneer or one whatever, then go back and say in 1970 and 1971, when the creation of hip hop started, this is what happened. Show me anybody. Bring them to DJ Phase and say, yo, this is what happened in 1970 and 71. The reason why the black spades are so relevant to us is because just that they were relevant to us. Mario said, let them do what they want to do. And when we did that, because it was Mario, people came. People wanted to hear it. And even then, that's just like this hat, right? Before it became a style or whatever, it was just a baseball cap. That wasn't a part of fashion. It was a baseball cap. And if you wore a baseball cap to somewhere, then people be like, yo, that's whack. Until it became a part of fashion. Then everybody start grabbing onto the baseball cap. That's fly. I never forget when Jay-Z said, "Oh, he wears the more Yankee hat more than the Yankees," and it became so. That's what happened, and that's the same thing that happened to the yucky stuff that the older kids said that we were doing. The yucky stuff, but then it became something. It became something. And then look at everybody that jumps on the bandwagon and says they're a part of it. They're a pioneer. They did this. But show, where's your evidence? Where are you saying? And your evidence don't have to be nothing in writing or anything, because we didn't have any cameras. We didn't have cell phones to take pictures. We didn't have recording devices to record stuff. We didn't have no flyers unless it was going to be on notebook paper. So the evidence that I need you to hear, that I need to hear from you is, okay, what did you do before there was two turntables? What was the music? What was the breaks that you used? What were some of the things you were saying on the microphone? What kind of dance? What were some of the moves, the dance that you did to burn someone? Because see, that's what we were doing. We were going off on people. We were going off when we danced. We was going off. So show me, tell me, just tell me. You might be too old to demonstrate it, but tell me. And I'll know if, yes, you are a part of this creation. Because I know everything I just said, I know. I know what was being used. I know the breaks. I still got the breaks. I know the clothes. I know the style of the dance. All of that. I just did a video, 3 parts about disco, because all of those people that says disco was before hip hop, we just proved them wrong. I said it years ago. He grabbed my video from years ago to prove it. But now, after we proved it, it's the chatter slows down. Now, to get caught saying that disco was before hip hop is a little bit, now people are taking it back. And that's the same thing. And you know what I called them back then and I call them today? Dick riders. Simple. Bozak buddies. That's it. Because for you to say that you were too young to create something shows your mindset, shows what you were doing. It doesn't show the young people, the young kids that did it, what they were doing. Because I guarantee you, this is something I can guarantee. You were not making $30 a day, $20 to $30 a day. You were not. You were not going to the places that we were going to. Let me start by saying this. I have family in the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, New Jersey, Long Island. So I was there. I was there. I was there. And in 1970 and 1971, none of those places were doing what we was doing. None of them. All my cousins used to say, what? What are you doing? They want to be cool with the older people. They want to be grooving with the older people. They want to listen to what the older people were listening to. And in the 70s and 71, most adults were listening to that make a baby music. That's what I call it. Straight up. They were listening to the groups to make a baby music. And that was the old thing. But we wasn't. We wanted the music so we could show off and go off on people. And that's it. So either you were a good dancer or you were a good snapper or you was a good DJ. And that's it. That's it. So all of those pioneers that say, oh, yo, you wasn't there because you wasn't, no, you wasn't there. You can't, the pioneers that I've seen so far and everything, I never saw them in the carriage room. I never saw them in Bronxdale. And that's a problem till today. The problem is this: people are still scared to come to Bronxdale, to go to Bronxdale projects. People are still, they'll rather go to the park next to it where the private homes are than to come inside the project, just a couple of feet away. And that's real. So how back in those days, if you were scared to see something or scared to go in someone, you know what's happening. What, you gonna stand on the corner and listen and say, yo, you was there? Nah, I didn't see none of them. None of them. Even the ones that be talking smack, I've never seen none of them. But they saying, oh, someone could be too young. How they could be too young if they there and you not? And you supposed to be older than them. That's the big difference. You talking all that crap about, oh, you too young, or you too young, da, 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 da. But I was there and you wasn't. So how does that work? And they say, oh, just because you're from the Bronx doesn't mean, well, yeah, it means a lot. Especially if I'm from the Bronx and I'm from the place and I'm from the right there, and I'm one of the ones that created it. So how does that work? But yet and still, like I said, it's all hearsay after that. And then we let, just like we let someone take our color. So if you're brown and you call yourself black, someone took your color. Someone said, no, you ain't brown, you black. You's a black. And someone just took it from you. Said, no, 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 no. No, 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 Bobby. You know black. You know brown. You know brown. You blackie. You negro. You blackie. I brown. I brown. See this? See my color? My color brown. My color brown. You blackie. And you standing up there condoning it like, yeah, yes, I'm FBA. And then because I say something, you got all the excuses of why, oh, well, why this is why we call each other black. And this is why, yeah, right. So go look in the mirror and say, hey, blackie. And that's it. And just like hip hop, us as kids, we doing something that y'all, everybody was saying, oh, this is so whack, this is so terrible, this don't make no sense. Take it and say they were the pioneers. They were the ones who created it. They the ones that said that this is how it goes and that. And then listen to their dates. Listen to their dates. They talk about 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. What happened in 70 and 71 and 72? Us, the ones that was too young, was doing it. We were doing it in 70 and 71, but we too young. So how you come along in 75 and 76 and you come along doing it, and now all of a sudden, forget about 70 and 71, we are 75 and doing something that was already done. I already mentioned and named, which I won't do it again. I won't do it again. I mentioned the breaks that we were using. And I said the names of the breaks that we were doing. And none of them was 73, 74, 75, 76. None of them. They were 60s and early 70s, 71, 72. 73 sometimes. And this is what this was after it started. And if you want to challenge me, we'll go break for break. All right? And I'm not talking about the computer stuff. I'm talking about I'll go in my closet, or I'll go in my basement, or I'll go in my attic, or I'll go in the rooms, I'll go in my garage, and I will pull out the actual record. And we'll go break for break. And just to let you know, I'll be there for a couple of years, just pulling out different breaks for a couple of years. So if you're not prepared to go a couple of years every day for a couple of years, don't even step into the arena. Don't step into the arena because it ain't that type of party. And that's just real facts. It's real facts. So it just every time someone says that you were too young, I guarantee you this now. I guarantee you. Pull out a bottle of real champagne. Pull out a bottle. Because we was when we was young, we had it. We had it. I could go pull out, go to my mom's house and pull out my British Walkers, my Playboys, my Desert Boosts, my Bally's, my all of that, my Quarterfield from when I was young. I could do that. Can you? And you obviously you can see the size of it to tell you I must have been a little kid. I have a Quarterfield that's this big. Come on, man. Stop with the nonsense. If you don't know, you just don't know. But don't blame and say, oh, this is because of this is that. No. Just for the fact that you let somebody steal your color You can't say nothing to me. You can't say, what do you want to say to me? You let somebody steal your color. Who does that? If you really stop and think about that, if you go, oh snap, hold up. Faye's got something there. Why am I calling myself black? What is black? What is why is it should what they should have did or say no, the brown is black and black is brown? What are they saying? But yet and still, this is what goes on. This is what goes on. This is what people say. This is what people say. And going back to that video, the mention of KRS and Crazy Legs being said as as pioneers, pioneers to what? I never even seen KRS at a Cold Crush jam. And Cold Crush is after the creation of hip hop. I never saw him at a Cold Crush jam. Never. I definitely never saw him at a Mario joint. And to be honest, I never saw him at a party. So how can he be considered a pioneer? Because he says he's from the Bronx. But yet and still the person used this as a point of saying, oh, this person's from the Bronx and he's a pioneer, but yet and still he says this, that even he got things wrong. Yeah, you know why he made that video? You know why he said that, oh, we may have got things wrong? Because of us. The whole thing of who was the leader of the black space, that was because of us. We stopped that. We said, yo, hold up. What you saying? What you saying? You saying guru? You saying monk? Who what you saying? And so we stopped that. You talk about them and you not put Mario first before them? We stopped that. So that's why the rewind came and said, oh, we got some things wrong. You yeah, yeah. Because they was never at a Mario jam. Never. So how you gonna know? How you gonna know what Mario was playing if you never seen him play? You never heard nothing. So how could you hear? And then for all of those people, because I'm not gonna say it no more. All of those people that ask, well, why is his name Disco King Mario? How many more times do we gotta say what it stand for? Disco stood for the discotheque, not disco music. And we gotta keep on saying it over and over and over again. No, I'm not even saying it no more. Think whatever you want to think, but what you're not gonna do is discredit the real creators and call them too young to do something because you ain't do it when you was young. That's it. You was not there. You don't know what was playing. How you can know that they was too young? We were too young if you weren't even there. Tell me that. Just to make that really make sense. You say they was too young to be there, but you wasn't there. So if they was there and you wasn't there, then you was too old to be there. Basically, you was too old to be there because we was there. We were there. And how many people have we brought on the channel during these years to say, yo, they right, they was there, they was doing it. That's what they was doing. How many people have we brought on our channel, on Microwave TV, or the Culture Since 71? How many people have we brought to say that, yes, they was there, they was the ones that was doing it? But yet and still, you go, y'all, whoever goes out and listen to somebody that wasn't there in the creation, wasn't there to make a part of it or do anything, and say, yeah, oh no, nah, this is when it started. This is when it did it. And then to hear about Fab Five Freddy saying that that's how it was introduced to hip hop, that's just crazy. And Wild Style, that's just crazy. And the most thing that really bothers me so much, and I know every time that I say it, everybody says whatever they want to say or whatever, but Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans, they didn't like what we were doing, just like the older people. So how can you say they were side by side when they didn't even like us or what we were doing? Make that make sense. And all the haters, they'll get on our stuff, right? And they'll say, "Oh, this was happening. Oh, he was too young. Oh, whatever," right? But yet and still, they watch every single thing that I do. I don't care. As soon as it say DJ Fake, bloop, they on there. They right on there, watching, listening to every single. Why? If I'm such a fraud, if I'm such a liar, if I was too young, why are you listening to me? And they got a comment. Why? You know why? Because it's the same thing that I was talking about, the dick riders. You just riding on somebody else's dick. Point blank, period. If I don't like somebody, what the hell am I be watching them for? What am I going to stay tuned to what they got to say? Make that make sense. And all day long, I get, oh, well, yeah, they was too young, so they don't know. And it's 1975 and 76. This happened, and yeah. As soon as that comes out of your mouth, I know you wasn't there. I know you wasn't there. And so many people. First of all, this is the one thing that I gotta let those people that don't know that the people that was with me that had birthdays the right days before mine or after mine or whatever, was in my class, was in my school, went to this or whatever, they're looking at these people that says, oh, he was born in 65, 66, or 67, 70, or whatever. They're looking at these people like, damn, how dumb are you? We know exactly how old Phase is. So why are you saying that? That's a lie. You don't even know what you're talking about. But they keep on and they keep on because they try to get into the hip hop the connection. They want to be in the conversation about hip hop. But this is point blank, period. If you're Puerto Rican, you were not there for the creation of hip hop. If you were Jamaican, you were not there in the creation of hip hop. What are you going to get mad at? If you were there, prove it. Say who you was with when we were creating hip hop. Because when you look at my book, and that's why it's going to break everything down. But when you look at my book, you're going to say, oh, damn, we didn't even know that's what it was, or we didn't know what this was. Just like, and I hate, this is what always bugs me out, that everybody's talking about a B-boy, a B-boy, a B-boy, and don't even know what it stands for and why it was even said. I can say this much though. It had a lot to do with Bronxdale, B, Black Spades, B. So all of this talk about, oh, this is why it happened. No, you bring that same pioneer. You invite that same pioneer, because I know all of them. From Herb, Cash, Flash, Breakout, Theodore, anybody I know personally, and you can bring them to my face. Let them say that. Let somebody else say that. I know them personally. They know me. They know my name. I know them. Simple. I could go to any jam, anytime, anything with the true people, no matter what. Boom. Yo, what up, FaZe? What up? And that's a fact. So you come with this pioneer and you tell them, say, yo, FaZe said, yo, this, what you tell FaZe, I want you to tell FaZe something different than that. Tell me. Just bring them to my face. Just say, yo, FaZe said this. Tell FaZe he's lying. Tell FaZe that this did not happen. Go ahead, bring him. Come on. Come on, yo. Over here, come here. FaZe right here. And that's what I'm talking. That's real. All y'all got this fantasy world shit. That's fantasy world, fantasy island, like the little midget. Can you hear me? The plane. That's all that is. I'm talking real. I know. I was there. I saw with my own eyes. How many people this day could say they was in the carriage room? How many people could say right now they was in the carriage room with Mario and the Black Spades, and they were in the carriage room? Who could say how many of them pioneers can say that? Because if they could say that, they would have said that. And they would know, they wouldn't have to ask, why does he have disco in his name? You wouldn't have to say that if you knew, if you listened to the records he was playing, if you watched us put the brakes on the turntable, if you saw us break dancing to the brakes, if you saw us snapping over the brakes, you saw us doing the dancing and everything to the brakes, you wouldn't have to ask that. But look how many pioneers asked that. The same people that say, yo, I know brown, I black. What is it? And then get mad at me. Get mad at me because I tell the truth. Because I tell the truth. Because I say, yeah, you got taken out by a kid. Yeah, we rocked your whole shit. We was kids. Yeah, we did that. Yeah. Some of us was in the sticking up and stuck you up. Yeah, we was a kid, we stuck you up. What? Yeah, you big. All of that. What? Yeah, we did that. Yeah, you a big one and we punched you in your face. Yeah, what? Yeah, we did that. So what? We did that. You was young, we was kids. And so we're supposed to say, nah, we ain't do that. We was too young to do that. That's what y'all want us to say. That's what you really want us to say. Meanwhile, we sitting here and like I said, yo, oh God rest the dead, yo, Lester. I was one of my best friends, Lester. He's one of the creators as well. And he was from the second section, and it got started. It was created in the first section. And he used to come to the first section, and then I moved right to his building. If he was here, man, listen. But that's what I'm saying. It all goes down to, oh, well, this was that. When Wild Style came out, by the time Wild Style came out, we was not even, man, listen. Oh my God. Fat shoelaces, fake ass Adidas, fake Pumas. Wasn't the real Adidas, wasn't the real Pumas. By the time they y'all got them or whatever, they was Adidas, Adidas. And if you still they don't know what the Adidas is. What the Adidas. And that's it. Like, come on, man, make it make sense. So a whole creation of things, a whole black spades, us, we were spades. And we created hip hop. And there's no other way you can say it. We don't care about what happened later on. We don't care about that. Keep that other, the other, go ahead, you take that. But don't try to come in and take our creation and say, yo, y'all was too young to create something. Obviously, we wasn't too young because you bit it. You bit it. You doing everything that we did. That we did. You bit the apple. You riding on what we did. So how is we too young to do it? But yet and still, you in our conversations, you all looking at what we doing and our styles and all of that. But we was too young. Yo, man, go ahead, man. Go ahead. And I just had to get on here. And I don't care. I don't care if one person here, two persons here. I don't care. I really don't. But I'm putting it down on video and letting it be known. Number one thing is, if you say we was too young, means you don't know nothing about the creation of hip hop. That's number one. If you say there wasn't Bronx, there wasn't the Black Spades, it wasn't Mario, you don't know nothing about the creation. Point blank, period. You don't know nothing about it. Stay out of little kids' business. Simple. Number two, if you walking around and you saying you black and you brown, to me, and I don't care about everybody else, to me, you a sellout. I don't care who you are, you a sellout. Because you ain't black. Your skin color ain't black. Because that's what they saying. They saying it ain't about whatever. They saying it's the color of the skin. That's what it comes out. So if it meant something else, why somebody else ain't black? And as far as Tariq Nasheed, I don't care if you get mad. Yo, he jerked y'all. He jerked y'all. He got all that money, and give y'all jack. And y'all made the film. Y'all made the movie. If it wasn't for y'all, y'all made the movie. So if it wasn't for y'all, y'all wouldn't have there wouldn't be no money. He would not be even made $1. He would not have made $1 if it wasn't for y'all. $1. And how many dollars did he make? Go ahead and say, oh, he might not have made that much money. Oh, it wasn't in the movies this way. Psh, come on. One theater, sold out theater. How many shows? How many theaters it was at? Come on, man. Y'all can't be that dumb. But yet and still you're giving them a pass because he tricked y'all. And then worry about what the Puerto Ricans is doing and what the Jamaicans is doing. What about your own kind? And y'all going straight up, just straight up, like FBA, 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 FBA. No, Mina, Mina, I know. Mina, I see Mina came up there and said, what's up. But anyway, FBA, FBA. Foundational black, foundational black. Yeah. Somebody told you was black and you roll with it. You look in the mirror, you see that you brown, but somebody said, yo, you black. And you went with it. You went with it. You went with it. You actually went with that. The theory. And that's what I just don't understand. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, do you really understand what you're doing right now? Meanwhile, the Spanish people, the darker colored Spanish people, is like, no, I brown. I brown. I not black. I know black. Even they won't even accept the color black. But you do. And then you make excuses like, oh, 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 this is what they know. Nah, man. No. He got paid to say FBA. He got paid to do that. Y'all ain't get paid. You did not get paid for the letters FBA. You did not get paid. Point blank, period. He got paid. But y'all are so smart. You're so smart. You do so much homework. You do so much this. You know. Yo, man. Y'all gotta wake up. Wake up. Know the kids. And this is what the problem is. The problem is because FaZe doesn't sit back and let people take things from him. That's why FaZe is prejudiced. FaZe is a racist. FaZe is a fraud. FaZe is a liar. FaZe is too young. FaZe is all of that. But yet and still, nobody taking that from me. They're not taking my color away. They're not taking my creation away. They're not taking it. But yet and still, yo, FaZe is this, FaZe is that. Yo, man, y'all need to be over FaZe. Because if you let somebody take your shit, they're going to keep on taking your shit. Y'all don't know that? Once they see you as a Vic, you a Vic. We used to, just talking to Young Black about this yesterday. Parkchester was the Vic spot. Simple. Okay. And that's just because Parkchester had a little bit more ones and twos than we did. So they had a little bit more ones and twos. And that's the same thing. Don't be a Vic. Don't let nobody take nothing from you. They just knew they was going to take hip hop from us until I got on the scene and it was like, yo, hold on. What you doing? What? Then all of a sudden I became the public enemy number one. Yo, Young Black said it the other day, I was holding Bronx still on my back. And this is straight up real talk. They talk about I stole. Somebody said I stole the Mario event from somebody. But how come between the years that it was done until when I started, nobody knew who Mario was? How come nobody knew who the great Disco King Mario was? And then when I come on and I tell people in Sydney, Australia, or Germany, Italy, or Africa, all that saying, yo, FaZe, we did not know. We heard about Herc, but we did not know. So how, if I stole something, why it wasn't known back then? Why? And that's what I'm talking about. That hearsay. Somebody said this. Oh, so that's why this is. And somebody said this. No. You had to be there. You had to be there to know that I did a gem for Mario when Blackjack was alive, when Mario was alive, dedicated to Mario in the third section of Bronxdale basketball court. How many people of Bronxdale say, yo, wait, hold on. Yo, FaZe did that shit way back then. The person that's talking all that stuff was not in Bronxdale 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, was not even in Bronxdale. So how you could know what was going on in Bronxdale and you was not even there? I got witnesses to say you wasn't even there. So how you know what I was doing in Bronxdale? I was there. Makes sense though, right? Yo, listen, man, that's about my time. I don't even know if I got any comments at this point. I was like, yo, I'm like, I had to let it go, man. I had to let it go, man. I had to let it go, And so if y'all, they, man, you know, I gotta read some comments because I see Princess just said something, you know. My moderators and Riri, I love you so much, man. You just don't know. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's go. Um, China Black Peace. What's good? Okay. At cost 35.83. Y'all notice I don't got my glasses on today, so y'all just gotta excuse me. What's good, FaZe? What's good? JD, what's up? JD Vid, what's good? Hold on. Okay, let's put that on there. Okay, man, I need my glasses. Hold on, let me see if I can get my glasses. Let me see if I can get my glasses. Hold on. Hold on. I definitely need my glasses. I definitely need my glasses. Hold on. Hold on. No, I don't have my glasses. Oh, yes, I do. Bong. Got my glasses, y'all. I got my glasses. Okay, bang. Let's see. Okay, now JD says, I do have to say that I don't agree with the idea that the word black is a negative meaning that is that is a white idea and a definition because whites have flipped the true meaning of everything. Okay, let's deal with that. JD, I'm gonna deal with that. Okay. So, this is a phone, right? This is a phone. We all know that this is a phone. Okay? We're not talking about the meaning of the phone. We know that this is a phone. All right? A phone is telephone. So it's for communication. So it can deliver and receive. So it's a phone. Now, describing this phone, it's a black phone. It is black. So the meaning for this phone is that it's a communicator. It communicates, it sends out a message, and it receives a message. That's what the meaning of this is. But the description of it is black. That's it. You cannot call this phone brown. You cannot call this phone white. You cannot call it any other color black because it's a phone. I'm brown. Brown. The meaning of me is me. But you cannot call me the color black because I'm not black. I'm brown. And that's it. You can say the meaning of anything has nothing to do with the color of my skin. That's it. There is nothing, absolutely nothing else to deal with other than describing me and my color. That's it. So you could now, if you say that brown is the essence of all things, and brown is so beautiful, and brown is intelligent, and brown is just the maker of the world, and brown is without brown, you could say all of that. I'll agree with it, but that ain't the meaning for it. That's not what it is. And by the end of the day, I'm still brown. So I'm sorry that you feel that way, JD, but that's just it. It's common sense. I would love to see your color. I would love you to go into the mirror and look at your color and say, no, I'm not brown. I'm black. Say that to yourself. Say it to yourself and just think about it. And there's a reason. If you say that, okay, he said, I do have to that, say that say that I don't agree with the idea that the word black is a negative meaning. That is a white idea. So you've seen a white person. That's what kills me. You've seen a white person. You ain't see a pink person. You've seen a white person. White. And that's what's it. So a white person, where was the white person that changed the flip the idea? Where's that white person at? And so the meaning, we don't care about the meaning of white. We don't care about that. We know what the color white is. We were taught that white is white and black is black. So now we gonna flip it and say, no, black is beautiful. No, this is black is this. We gonna do that. The same thing that they said they did to us, we gonna do that to them and say, no, black means this. No, black is not this color. Black is not brown. Nah, bro. Sorry, I can't conform to that. Simple. Okay. The elements were, China Black Peace. The elements were named years later. The issue with graffiti is that a lot of Puerto Ricans are playing the graffiti card as if hip hop wouldn't exist without it. Party happens without people writing on the walls. Well, there you go. Simple. Simple. So let me ask you this. Can you throw a jam with graffiti? Just graffiti? Nope. Can you throw a jam without graffiti? Yep. And that's basically it. You can't throw a jam without the DJ. You can't throw the jam without the MC. You can't throw the jam without somebody breakdancing, breaking, dancing. Can't do it. But you can take graffiti out of anything and we're gonna be rocking, we're gonna be jamming. Boom, 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 boom. And that's basic fact. So you tell all of those Puerto Ricans or whoever said it, tell them, okay, well, go throw a jam with graffiti. See how many people come. See how well that works out. Just put graffiti in. Because I know if I DJ by myself out in the park or anywhere by myself, don't have nobody else, people gonna come, grab the mic, people gonna come and dance to my music, without a doubt. They ain't gonna come and do no graffiti. They gonna come, yo, faces in the park, rocking, back, boom, go over there. Yo, face, let me get on the mic, let me get that mic, let me get that mic. Yo, look how he dancing. Boom, boom, boom. Wah, wah, wah. It's a fact. Somebody go challenge me against that fact. Tell me that that's not the fact. That's not real. Tell me I've ever did a party, ever DJ anywhere, did anything, and people didn't come and rock out. Just tell me that happened. Yo, oh man. Okay, hold on. And you guys gotta hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Even scientific research suggests that dark matter and dark energy make about 95% of the universe. Check anti G Job and other scholars that Kemet meant land of black people. Okay. Now this is what where I guess I gotta say it, and this is just straight up. All right. So If we're brown and we're dark, dark brown, that's not the same energy that you're talking about. If you're talking about Kemet, land of the black people, I would love to know who did that research. Was it the so called black people that gave you those answers? Or was it the pink people that gave you those answers? Think about it. Even though we have so many creators and so many discoverers and so many things, how did it get into the book to be read? How did it get to the colleges to be talked about? Who brought it there? See, that's one thing that I have to always say, that no matter what, your grandmother, your grandfather knows about their grandmother and their grandfather, and they know about their grandmother and their grandfather. And somewhere along the line, those people from Africa can say, my great 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 grandfather was in Africa. I can say, my great great grandmother was down south. I could say that because their grandchildren told their grandchildren told their grandchildren, and so on and so on. And so I asked my mother and my grandmother, where was their mother from? And they told me where their mother was from and father. And so what I'm saying to you is this: until you show me that these same black people that you're talking about gave this person the information, I gotta say that it came from a pink person. And I damn sure don't trust anything that the pink people tell us. Look how much they lied to us already. Look how much lies we have been taught already. But I'm supposed to just believe all of a sudden he has this information that he's going to share with us to make us more powerful, to make us more knowledgeable. That just don't make sense with me, man. It just don't. Maybe it's because of who I am or whatever, but I just don't believe that. And y'all can get mad all y'all want to. I do not believe in the Bible. I said it. I said it. It's a bunch of stories. And when you dig down and look at the stories that's in it, a lot of stories is about how to treat your black slave. Stories, a lot of stories in the Bible is talking about how to treat, how the pink people are supposed to treat their brown slave. That's the Bible. So you could get mad at me all y'all want to because I don't believe in that. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about me. I don't believe in that. I could believe that when I was a little kid, I saw pink people beat us with bats and knives and chains and stomp us out and all that. I could say I seen that. I seen some of my cousins get just totally obliterated by gangs of them pink people. I could say that. I could say I know that Mario was first, the first to play hip hop. I could say that. I could say that there were black spades that I know personally to this day. I saw fight 10 and 15 people and win. I could say that. I didn't have to read that in a book. I could say that I saw that. So when we go and we tell these different names and we say all of that, these percentages and stuff, eh, I don't fall for it. I really don't fall for it. You know, how you gonna tell me or say that the color that's my body, skin color, my body, if I look at my stomach, if I look at my legs, if I look at my back, my head, if I look at my head, everything that I look at is the color brown. But say, oh, I'm not brown, I'm black, because the meaning was changed by pink people. I don't know. I just can't do it. And those scholars, I'm a scholar. I'm a scholar. I got book knowledge. I went to college. I experienced things. I've seen it firsthand. So how much of a scholar, who are you going to trust in? A scholar that's seen a formula work or a scholar that read the formula work? I'm that scholar that's seen it work. Simple. All right. Okay, let's get somebody else. Okay. Yeah, China Black. That thing that think disco was first because they were not around hip hop during the formation. They have to Google and go on hearsay, and that's true. That's true. That is so true. See, that's where this whole thing comes about. It comes about because people, they, for instance, and I say this all the time. No older person can say about how we got up early, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, waited for us all to come downstairs in the building, come down, walk over to Pathmark, take each aisle, and just start backing bags. Take outside, but after you pack the bag, the next one take the bag to the car and getting 25 cents. Even if you get a nickel, 25 cent, 50 cent, dollar bill, 25 cent, 50 cent, dollar bill, 50 cent, 25 cent from 7 o'clock to sometimes 3 o'clock. So older person can't know that, okay, you got $30 today. All right, you got $30 next day. Okay, you got $30 the next day, $30 the next day, and you see Black Willie, rest in peace, coming downstairs with a fly gold medallion on, or some fly mock neck, or quarter field, or some AJs, or some British Walkers, and you tell them, yo, can you take me to go get that? Can you take me to go get that? Come on, booby. Come on. Let's go. I'm taking you. Let me go tell your mother that you're going with me. Older people can't know that that could happen because it never happened to them. They can't know that he used to put the weed in the mailbox, the big old nickel bags in a cellophane paper, gold paper, and run outside, drop one. I pick it up. I'm holding it, waiting for him to come back. And he said, "Yo, booby, let me show you what this is." Boom, show me what it is. And they tell me it's with the bamboo. They roll it up in the bamboo, and you could get $1 for that. Ah, so you keep that, booby. I want to see you. I want to see you make that money. Ah, 8 years old, 8 years old, doing that. They can't fathom that. They can't even think about that could ever happen. But I witnessed it because it happened to me. I witnessed it. I can't finish telling you the stories about me and young Black Jack. I can't finish telling you the stories of me and Lester. Me and Steve, all of I can't finish telling you how we would go this way, that way, do this, that. I can't tell you about God rest his soul, Black Willie, Black Jerry, Curly. I can't finish telling you that. And so because someone wasn't there to witness that, can't say it. Can't say in 123 before the splitting of it how Mario set up. Can't say that because the only time you know about is after the fact when more than one DJ was there. But the first jam in 123 was just one DJ. Just one. Can't tell you when Mario played in the Skating Palace without the flyer. There was no flyer. They can't tell you that because they wasn't there. Can't tell you about the Lollipop Jam. Can't tell you about the Carriage Room because they were not there. So how can they tell you something when they were not there? But because they can't tell you, it means it didn't happen. Look how many people tell you it happened. Look how me and Black tell you, yo, look, dude, well, this is what we was doing. Da 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 da. And so that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You know, here's Princess right here. Facts face. People were scared to come to Bronxdale projects last year, shaking my head. Yeah, Nina, let them know. Yo, you know how many people, and this is so, they so bugged, and they so, and everything, but was scared to come to Bronxdale last year because we did it inside Bronxdale. We did it right next to Mario Building. And God rest his soul, Fish. They was scared to come. They turned around because it wasn't going to be in a big public uh, playground where kids were and everything. but they were scared to come. But so that's 2025, and now you talking about the 1970 and 71 and 72 when the black spades were the black spades. Come on. So because you wasn't there, you say it didn't happen. No, it ain't happen. That ain't happen. Nah. They ain't rocking no carriage room. They ain't rocking the lollipop. They ain't rocking the first, second, and third section. They ain't do that in basketball courts. They ain't do that. Mario rocked on St. Lawrence under the train station. Under the train station, Mario had equipment, and the cops let us quarter off from Commonwealth to Beach Avenue and Westchester Avenue. Nobody talks about that. And I got pictures of it. God rest my soul, my uncle. I got pictures of it. And nobody talks about it. Nobody. And this was way before all these other so-called jams happened and all of that. Nobody talks about the carnival that was in the bowling alley, which is now Cablevision. It was Skate Palace and was a school. Nobody talks about that. None of those pioneers, none of those creators, none of those people talk about it. And then you're talking about the sound system. I had to say this. I gotta say this, Mina. I gotta say this, Princess. I gotta say it. They all talk about that Herc had this system, a sound system. I already busted that. When Herc came out, he had 2 PV columns, which were guitar columns, and he had a guitar amp, a earth amp. Y'all don't even know what an earth amp is. He had an earth amp. And y'all talking about sound systems. He got everything after we had it. We got the Macintosh first. He got the Macintosh. People to this day on my video, I talked about the Gal speakers. Everybody's like, huh? So they didn't know. All these pioneers did not know. Point blank, period. But yet and still, I was too young. Man, come on, man. Princess, I gotta get him, man. I got to. I don't know how this guy got in here. I'm not gonna put his stuff up, but it just shows you. It just shows you that anything we do, you can believe everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants to know about it. Everybody. Whatever we do. And it's sad. It's sad that like why you can't create. We don't go to nobody else's culture and say we were part doing it or we were part of it. Nothing. We don't do none of that. We don't have to. And that's why I'm talking about the color black. We don't have to be called black. We're brown. Oh my God. The hip hop pioneer DJ Faze, salute. One of the creators from the actual very beginning of the hip hop culture. Keep teaching the truth about the hip hop culture. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute, salute, salute. And it's things like that that make me say, yes, yes, there's a reason why I gotta spit the truth. I gotta tell the truth. It's brothers like this that make me do that, that inspire me to speak the truth. Okay. DJ Biggs, what's good? What's good? Okay. Okay. Okay, JD says something good. He says, everything you recount about the creation of hip hop makes perfect sense. They all know it and don't have any intelligence counter, and that's why it really pisses them. What really pisses them off? Yes, JD. Yes, it does. It pisses them off, and it's so funny though. It pisses them off, and when it pisses them off, they can't come back with nothing. They can't come back with reality with it, and that's what gets them stuck. And so that's what gets them to say the stupid stuff that they say. But yes, JD, you're 100% correct. Okay. Uh, okay. Phase, they give credit to PR gangs for the 50-50 creation, but won't mention the black spades for creating, nor even 50%. They jump to the Zulu Nation automatically because it was or inclusive. So let's talk about that. I'm glad, Princess, that you brought about that. Um, that was something that I was gonna talk about it, but then I was running out of time, and actually I've been on here way too long as it is. But I'll say this. So the reason why the black spades were created was because another Spanish gang were trying to jump one person, one person, a bunch of them were going to try to jump one person. Now, I know the younger people are into that, but that's coward. That's a coward move. If it takes more than one person to be in a fight, that's you're a coward. If you can't take these and duke it out one on one, you're a coward. If you gotta run and get a knife or run and get a gun because you're in a one on one fight, you're a coward. That's it. So when the spades was formed, Spanish people did not like us. They did not like, and they still don't. There are some that do that I mess with all of a hard body. There are some that I can actually consider my family, Puerto Rican. But the most of them, that's how it was, that's in their DNA. So when you talk about the spades, you have to know that the spades were deeply rooted in truth and revolution and karate, the arts, deeply. And we baby spades were into music. And I don't know any other so called gang that had a baby in it. We were baby spades. We had young spades. So I never heard of the baby warlords or the baby this. I never heard of none of that. But the baby spades. Okay, I got too many more comments to go. Um, okay. Oh, okay. Now they had they're talking about Tyler. Tariq Nasheed again. Are you saying that the theaters didn't call off the showings? Well, eh, I mean, you guys got to really think about it. Okay, let's just say that it was taken out of the theaters, right? Okay, so all the money that was made in the theaters, right? But then you got a DVD where you're still making money, like you're still making money, and it's really, and I talked to some of them. I talked to some of the pioneers, so-called pioneers, and they talk about, phase, just getting the exposure and this, it was the, and I just laugh. I laugh. Like, you really could be that naive to know that this man just exploited you. Like, you don't know that, and you don't know that just by spreading the word, the thing, FBA, that he's making money, and you're saying it, and you're not making a cent. You're not making not a dollar, and you don't get it. You don't feel that that's a little off, dude. Does DJ Faze have to tell you that that's a little bit off? That you're promoting something for free, and somebody's getting money for your free service. You know what that is, right? No, but no, you know what that is, right? You know that ain't wait a minute, hold up. Ain't that the same thing they used to do with a slave? Didn't a slave go out in the cotton field and bust his hump and slave all day and come back in and ain't get no money? Got fed slop like the pigs got fed? Got whipped and beat? Ain't that the same thing? You told your story. You were on this picture tube. You were on this screen, and you were saying, regurgitating your experiences, and you ain't get paid. But somebody got paid for you to tell your story. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the dummy. Yeah, maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Just didn't happen to me. Just I don't know. Maybe me being too young, I skipped the part where that was supposed to happen since I was too young. I was too young, so I skipped the part where that was supposed to happen to me. Okay. All right. Now we know why I was too young. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hey, thank you for bringing that up. Let's go. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Yes, yes, princess. Yes. Oh man, you guys. Oh my God. Okay. Oh wow. All right. Listen, you guys. I see there's way too much comments for me to go through the comments, so I guess I have to do a part two. But listen, listen. You guys, I know you guys had to notice that I have not been coming on. And it's because, like I said, you get this information, um, and we definitely know that the information is real and that the information is true. But yet, and still, after my session, I'll go and I'll look at my Cash App or I'll look at my PayPal, and there's really nothing there. The ones and two people that do it, it's not enough. You see these other podcasts that have all these different gadgets and the video stuff and everything, and that's because they're sponsored. People donate and people, they're monetized and stuff like that. This channel is not monetized. So I need you, the people, my people, to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe, and hit that Cash App and hit that PayPal. I need you guys to do that. And it really bothers me because you could spend $5 on rolling paper or $5 to get a stick of gum or something. But when it comes to getting information and helping your fellow brother out, it's like, nah, I'll pass on that. And that just drives me crazy sometimes, man. I just be like, yo, because I know anything that I like is worth my dollar. It's worth my ones and twos. Sometimes I look at somebody and they say donate whatever. I don't even finish watching the video and I just send it to them. You see what I'm saying? So, it's really hard to really go ahead and keep on going on, knowing that we got people that don't even want to say, "Hey, yo, hey, face, man, that was a good show, man. Here's a couple of dollars. Here's a couple of ones and twos, man." And that's why. But I see I have so many comments. The comments go, oh, I keep on going and scrolling. It goes down and down and down. So I guess you guys were really, really into it. So what I'll do is I'll look at each comment, each one, and I'll take a note of it, and I'll come back with a part two. Okay, guys, listen, I really hope there's something I said today will click inside of you and really let you know that I mean all good for us. That's all I do. I want us to prosper. I want us to become one. All right. Oh, it's been real. All right. So you guys, listen. I'm gonna keep that up there, and you guys have a good one.